Hey guys, it's Beth, and today I have a quick preview, flip through, and kind of a planning session for my next Kilopad project, which is Songbird by DCWV, and this is the one that you guys helped me choose. I had gone through my pads and didn't have anything really springy, which is very surprising, but this one was about as springy as I got, so I had put a choice out there for you guys to choose between this one and a school-themed pad. And you guys chose this one to be my next one, so I will be doing the school theme one after this. So this had 48 sheets originally, and there are 3 sheets of each pattern, so 16 different patterns, and it's printed cardstock. So it's not like real thick, but it is fairly sturdy weight that it might actually stand alone for some projects. And it is from 2014 is when this one came out. When I was looking for pads, I found this one in an iris case, which normally if a pad's in an iris case, it's because in my cases I put works in progress or planned projects or the projects that I want to do. I haven't really planned them yet, but I know I want to do it. And so I found this one in there with this set of cards, and there were a couple sheets in here that were like cut apart sentiments and then cut apart border strips. So I had made a set of cards using some of the pattern paper, border strip, and then the little sentiment cut aparts. So there's 5 here. Like this one says, "Hi friend," "Hello," "I adore you," "Smile," and then "You're lovely." And I just thought that had made like a great, nice, positive message card set. And at the time, I remember this 2 years ago, at the time when I was making it, I had wanted to make a decorative holder for them as well, and thought that would be like a pretty gift for, say, Mother's Day or something like that. So at the time, I'd gone online and I'd found some instructions, a template for a card holder. And then this is the one that I had made, but it was huge. It's way too big for these cards. Like this is 5 cards and 5 envelopes, and I could fit double that in there, if not more. So it was way thicker than I wanted, and I guess I didn't have time to start from scratch on the holder at that time, so it all went into the iris box, and I was going to come back and do it later. Well, 2 years later, here I am. I'm going to finish up this card set, and I think the decorative holder I want to use, it's like a 2-pocket portfolio, folder type. So it's a lot thinner and easier to package and things like that. So we'll do a quick flip through of some of the papers and then talk about what I would like to do with this pad. And first, since it's not actually in the pad anymore, I've already gone through the sentiment sheets and cut them up. Like I did this a few years ago when I was making the cards. So some of the sentiments were perfect for cards, like the ones I used. Some of them are better suited probably for scrapbooking. And then some of them are just kind of general. Could probably be used for other projects as well, but I've got a bunch of those. And then these were some of the border strips that I had left, haven't used up, but I'd already cut down. Like this one, I think I've already got it cut. It's perfect size for an A2 size card front. So that was the cut apart pages. And as far as the other patterns, there's a lot of bold patterns in here, which I think that's one reason I haven't used this one up yet, because sometimes with these bright bold, like I love them, but I'm just not quite sure how to use them. So I think it's an unintentional hoard sometimes with my pads, because especially like on the clearance or the hot buy pads, I buy them because I love the patterns or I love the colors, but then I get them home and I'm not really sure how to use them. So, but some of the things that I want to do with this one, I want to make the holders for those card sets, and I have at least 2 of the card sets. There may be a third in there somewhere, since there were 3 sets of each pattern. So I'm going to make a couple of the holders, which will take up a couple sheets. I would like to do some 12 by 12 scrapbook pages. That's kind of a standard that I do for all of my pads, just so I can get kind of caught up, or work on getting caught up on my personal scrapbooking. And then I would like to do some decorative notepads. I'm not sure like if I want to do larger ones or just like the smaller post-it notepads. And then maybe some bookmarks. And then obviously some greeting cards. And then one thing I do want to do is this, where did it go? Orange paper. I don't know if you can see. It's almost like a herringbone pattern. But a couple years ago, I had made some little carrot-shaped treat boxes for Easter, like so you could open and close them and you could fill them with candy. It was a file I found on my Silhouette, but I had made like several of them and put them at our craft show, and it was right before Easter, so they sold really well. But since I have one sheet left, I think I can get 2 treat boxes out of this paper, so I may go ahead and finish this paper off with that. And for those of you who are new subscribers, welcome. But normally when I start a pad project, I kind of have the same approach that I attack each pad with. So I will normally start with either the most obvious projects or the biggest projects. So this case, I kind of started with the most obvious because these card sentiments, I've already gone ahead and made the cards with those. So next I would probably move to the biggest projects, which would be the card holder for those cards, as well as my scrapbook pages. So I would probably pull out like this page. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's like got this cute little scene on it. And if I were to, some scenes you could cut up and they would still make sense by themselves, but in this case, like if I cut it up, I would kind of lose just because it's such a large scene. And I think it's really cute, so I would probably try to make a scrapbook layout for my girls with these. And then like there's another scene in here, like this one, with the scene with the flowers and the butterfly up here. This one would still make sense if I cut down the flowers and made that a card front or something, That one would still make sense, and then I could use the rest of the pattern for other projects. But like this one, I may end up using it as embellishments. I could fussy cut out some of those flowers. And this pattern, I'm not really sure how to use. It's just the whole sheet of these birdhouses. And while I love the color combination, but I'm not sure how I would use it on a larger scale project. So on this one I may go and cut, since they're basic shapes, I may fussy cut out a lot of the birdhouses and use them as embellishments for other projects or cards or whatnot. And then the same way with the birds that were up here at the very beginning. Some of those I could easily cut out and use as embellishments. But those are the projects I have planned. Now there may be other things that pop into my head, or once I get going, sometimes I get inspired to do some other things, but I would love any suggestions that you guys have on how to use up this paper, especially those of you that voted for this pad. Did you have anything in mind that you thought that would be great for, or is there something specific that you guys would like to see made or see me try? Please let me know your ideas in the comments below. I am very open to suggestions on this pad, because that was one of the reasons why this one kind of sat in my stash for a while. Like I loved it, but wasn't sure how to use it. So that's that. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to dive into a big pad, get back into the bigger projects. But like I said, please let me know if you have any suggestions down in the comments below. Would love to hear your thoughts and ideas on what I could make with this one. Otherwise, stand by, stay tuned for the project shares. I will probably do individual project share videos as I go, and then we'll have the final wrap up at the end like usual. But be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for ideas on how to use up your pads, and maybe how to use up those hard to use pads. Sometimes it's good to just get started, and then we can figure out how to use them as we go. But thanks for your time today, guys, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.